AITA for getting mad at my fiance because he didn't put a stop on his dad's comments?
Okay, so me and my fiancé, both 28, invited his parents for dinner at our place. I cooked a meal, not simple but not extravagant because I am not an amazing cook, and it was ready before they arrived. When they arrived we had a conversation and then they sat down. I went to the kitchen to serve the plates when I hear his dad telling me to do it quicker. I wasn't too bothered by that comments since they were probably hungry, so I ignored it. After I served them the plates and sat down, I thought the quicker comment was in the past. But his dad started saying something to my son like, "Here's a lesson for you. Women need to feel threatened by another woman in order to reach their full potential. If Op had felt threatened she would have been faster."
I was literally on the same table, so I heard it and got very mad, but it is his dad, so I decided to let my fiancé handle it. His mother didn't seem surprised, she just kept eating and joined the conversation. Well, he didn't tell his dad to stop. Instead he started laughing and saying something like, "Oh yeah, don't worry. Once we get married things will be different." And that was it for me. I didn't make a scene, so I waited until they left to talk to my husband. I told him I was very mad at him for laughing at his comment instead of just saying no or changing the topic. He said that I am overreacting and that it was just the way his dad jokes. I told him I didn't find the joke funny.
He got pissed off and told me to talk to him once I've calmed down. AITA?
Oh yeah, don't worry. Once we get married things will be different. This should throw the immediate brakes on this wedding. It's absolutely not funny to even remotely get close to suggesting that after the wedding, you'll become subservient to him. NTA. Correcting spelling error. It'll be different when we're married. That alone should scare Op. Nothing the Phil said was a joke. The fiancé knew it, added to it and then dismissed Op totally and told her, "We'll talk when you're calm." The fiancé meant every word he said. Listen very carefully, Op, what he's telling you. NTA. Run. Now. You just got a glimpse of your future, and it isn't pretty.
NTA, this is a huge red flag. Like postpone the wedding or calling it off, in my opinion.
NTA. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. This isn't going to change once you get married, it's going to get worse. Has he shown signs of misogynistic ideals like this in the past?
NTA. That wasn't a joke and neither was your fiancé's response. Apparently they're both sexist. If you're in the middle of wedding planning, put a pause on it until things are figured out one way or another.
NTA. Holy shit, run. This whole scenario is full of massive red flags and classic signs of an abusive relationship, and that he learned how to treat women from his father. Run. 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 I can't say it enough times. This behavior will only get worse the longer you stay.
NTA, joke or not, it's disrespectful. Out of curiosity, how long have you been together, and has he ever said / joked like that with you before, or only when his dad's around?
NTA. His dad was openly rude to you in your own home and your fiancé not only didn't address it, he condoned it. Those weren't jokes. That's exactly how they feel. If you do want to really test these jokes, host another dinner, and when you're bringing the food out, walk as slowly as humanly possible while saying, "Wife mode hasn't been activated yet." If it was a joke, they should laugh and move on. If it's actually a deep-rooted belief that you are subservient to them, they will feel like you are mocking them and get mad. Honestly, I think you know the truth deep in your heart. Your fiancé thinks you are below him and that you will get in your place once you are married. NTA, but definitely don't go through with this marriage until you've had counseling. Your partner is trash. He didn't correct his dad because he agrees with his dad. The way his mother didn't react and his comment shows that this is the environment he grew up in, and the dynamic he watched at home. He has internalized that mistreating and disrespecting women is part of life. And rather than listening to you explain why this is beyond inappropriate and disgusting, he's turning it on you. He's blaming you for not being docile enough and not behaving how he feels you should. C. His mother not responding. This is dangerous. It may never escalate to violence, but it does indicate that your partner views women, and therefore you, as less equal and less important. I would take a few days to stay with a friend or at a hotel and consider, is this the relationship I want? It would also be fair of you to tell him that you won't accept this kind of language in your home or life, so he has a choice. He can either go to therapy to unpack this behavior, as well as stopping his father in the future, or he can lose you. This is serious and you cannot back down. And keep in mind, if you have children, if he doesn't change, then he will repeat this behavior and misogynistic beliefs in front of them. He will teach your daughters that their job is to appease men at their expense, and he'll teach your sons that women aren't real people to be taken seriously. He learned this behavior from his father and he will teach it to your children. First off, NTA. Listen, I normally think people on this sub are a little too quick to jump to leave him. But, to be honest, it's incredibly concerning he even joked. Though I sorta feel like he probably wasn't joking. But I DK him about, that'll change, that's just horrid. His dad wasn't just talking about you moving faster in general. He was talking about you having to feeling threatened by another woman to deserve your husband. And he agreed. I think you need to postpone the wedding. Have a series of very serious conversations about your roles in the home and mutual respect. I really hope things pan out for you. Whichever way they fall. I'm really sorry. I can't imagine how blindsided you feel. NTA. Leave him. This is who he really is. He really thinks nothing of you. He approves of his dad's misogyny. And he almost certainly agrees with it. It's mask off. And then, when called out, he uses the old, it's a joke, you're overreacting, calm down, crap. It's gaslighting. He has zero respect for you, and will act like you are being unreasonable for expecting respect. There are almost 4 billion other men on Earth. Don't convince yourself this one irreplaceable. NTA. I would have packed and moved out that night. NTA. Your boyfriend is though. It's one thing to ignore sexist comments from a parent. Usually because you fought them so many times you just let a few pass for an easy life. But it's a completely different thing to agree with them. Also, talk to me when you've calmed down, is like, you over-emotional woman. Me logical man. I will not deal with you unless it is on my terms, and my terms are no emotions. Toxic. NTA. No. That's bullshit behavior in your living space by a person you're serving food to. And it will only get worse. When we get married can turn into, if we get married pretty fast. Frankly, I'm surprised your fiancé isn't getting nervous that you'd associate him with this type of behavior, and quickly distancing himself from it. You would have been justified losing your shit a little with someone speaking to you like that. I wouldn't wait on your fiancé to do it. NTA. This is not a joke. This is a glimpse to what your fiancé considers normal. You want this treatment to be your new normal? Behind every joke is a kernel of truth. You felt disrespected by your Phil first, then your fiancé. And rightly so. I recommend you hold off getting married before you and your fiancé go to pre-marriage counseling, where this issue gets laid on the table for discussion and resolution. Do not for a moment believe your fiancé will change without this counseling. He already dismissed your feelings as overreacting. NTA. And good luck. NTA. And major red flag. Makes me question whether he respects you or not. Regardless, if you should continue this relationship, Set the boundary ASAP and hold your potential fill accountable. NTA. His dad's jokes are insulting, and the fact that your fiancé didn't stand up for you and got pissed off when you told him you were insulted is rightfully upsetting. Op. Keep in mind that at this rate, these are the same types of jokes your fiancé will make and tolerate one day.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.